one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Planning Commission members present this evening. We have Ms. Hugo, Mr. Andre, Ms. Coulter, Mr. Joyner, Mr. Gellings, Ms. Nassar, Mr. Bush, Mr. Johnson, our Planning and Zoning Director, Mr. Jeremy Smith, and from Giffords Webster, our Planning Consultant, Mr. Amat. Next item on our agenda is an opportunity for public comment. If anyone is here to comment about something that's not on our agenda, basically, now would be the time. We do have a public hearing coming up on a text amendment, as well as St. Paul's Church. We have, that won't have a public hearing, but will be an opportunity for comments at that time. So if anyone's here to address the Planning Commission about anything other than those two items, now would be the time. I guess we're all here for the same thing. All right, we'll close the public comment section, bring it back up to the Planning Commission. Next item on our agenda, it would be approval of the minutes from January 8th, but our secretary is not here, and I don't know whether he's had a chance to thoroughly go through. He usually does a very good job of that.
Yeah, he's usually very thorough. I don't recall any comments from him, so I'd request that we push that to next month and we approve those then.
Okay, I don't think there's any,
There wasn't anything pressing. It was all
Urgency.
informational, but just in case.
all right, let's just make sure we get those back
Yep.
again for next month.
Yep.
Next item is approve this evening's agenda. Any changes?
None.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bush to approve the agenda as presented, support by Ms. Nassar. All those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 0. Correspondence. Any correspondence?
No correspondence, but you do have information in front of you for updated information for the St. Paul Catholic Church, Chaldean Catholic Church. So you have that in front of you as well.
We'll be going through that here shortly. Old business, I don't think we have any old business. Move on. New business. You with us, Mr. Smith?
Sir? Sorry.
I said new business. St. Paul's Chaldean Catholic Church.
Yes.
Is there someone that's going to make a presentation? Are you going to do something?
We'll let
first?
them have the floor first, and
Okay.
then we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Good evening, members of the Planning Commission. I'm Odette Georges. Hi. I'm Odette Georges. I'm the architect on this project, and I have my colleague here, Danae DeSico. We're from Gateway Engineering, representing our clients, Father Salwan of St. Paul Chaldean Catholic Church. So we're here tonight to present a conceptual plan for this cross that we'd like to implement on the site of St. Paul Church. So, we're here to address any concerns or comments that you have, and, so going into the design, so we're proposing a 60-foot cross, which is less than a height of a cell tower, and it will be a monument piece for the site, and we're maintaining about a 300-foot radius of the property line. And,
Just my hearing isn't that good.
yes,
What was the height that you said?
it's a 60-foot cross to the top, the top height of it. Are you guys able to hear me?
There you go. Better.
Okay, sorry. So yeah, a 60-foot cross, and we're maintaining a 300-foot radius around the property boundary line. So, there will be no issues with any, the falling radius. And also, all the lighting is, will be fully shielded, full cut lighting, so no lighting spillage. any issues there. So more about the design, if you guys want to go to the, or can I control this thing? Okay. So the cross is essentially situated in the middle of this sanctuary, which will be sort of like an indoor-outdoor meditative space where people can, gather and meditate upon the cross. And there will also be a relic that will be held at this monument. So it'll be sort of a pilgrim for people to come and see it during the Feast of the Cross and, other important dates in the Catholic calendar. And so if I can zoom in. As you can see here on the floor plan, this is the spatial flow. So we're proposing a small chapel. Basically, the entire buildable area is around 6,000 square feet, so it's not a huge, it's not a huge building area. And it's basically to hold things such as outdoor mass and, some public programming such as like museum, a cafe for people to come and rest. And potentially also some future additions of Stations of the Cross as you proceed towards the Cross Monument. But yeah, it's basically situated on a 20-acre site parcel, so we have a ton of space for it there. And also the tree line in that area, it's a heavily wooded area, so the tree line is about 50 feet high already, and will not be, we're going to preserve the trees there, so it will be well fitted within the scale of the site and the scale of the trees on that site. So, and yeah, would you like to add anything else?
Maybe if you go back to would you guys like us to touch on the floor plan a little bit more? Or since this is so preliminary, do you feel comfortable with the general floor plan?
I'd focus more on an overview for us of what you plan to do.
I think you covered it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the overall kind of idea of it. And like we said, it's very conceptual, so any like technical things, we'd be happy to like work with you guys because we want to obviously make sure that this site is, it's like safe and functional for the neighborhood and it's not disruptive, so.
Maybe just to kind of reiterate, there will be an outdoor area for outdoor mass, and then a chapel on the right, on the left, the museum/cafe with restrooms, and then towards the back at the top of the circle. That would just be like a prayer garden.
Yeah.
So just an area for people to gather and worship.
So the area at the bottom of the plan is the outdoor seating? correct?
Yes.
Like
And
that would be like curved pews.
yes.
So very,
Prayer garden is in the back,
yes.
or on the opposite side, I guess.
Yeah.
Questions from planning commission members?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Johnson?
Approximately how many people are you guys talking about, thinking of?
Well, it'll be the parish members, of course, so just no more than what a mass, like a typical Sunday mass, maybe a little more on the more monumental days. We can't obviously give an exact number. We can do a traffic study eventually.
Well,
But-
I wasn't going down.
Yeah.
I was just curious about how many people, let's say, Easter, you guys would have
Right.
out in the area.
Just
Just because I'm curious.
Capacity,
onto that?
yeah.
You got about 18 inches of seat.
Yeah, like about 300 people,
300?
something like, yeah.
I'm not holding you to anything. I was just curious.
Oh, and one thing, yeah, no, that's a really good question. So we are proposing additional parking, I think about additional 40 spaces right now, which you could see in the site plan. We could obviously propose more, if you guys believe that that's more, that would create a more efficient site. So, yeah, that's,
Mr. Chairman?
Ms.
I just have a
Coulter?
question. What permissions are going to be required from us in terms of this project that they're discussing?
So we just want to, I think we want to kind of get an idea on the process here. Today is for some feedback, is my
Right.
understanding, preliminary feedback.
Yes.
And then the next step from there.
Next step would be to get the engineered plans to see if there'd be any variances required. I feel, I was just talking with Mr. Mott here, going through our zoning ordinance, we feel there may be a height variance required because it is going to be, I understand the cross is 60, but the base of it's an additional 20, so that's a total of 80 feet tall, where we only allow 60 feet total. And that's even with churches and spires. We found that in the book just a minute ago as well. So that's something to take into consideration that we'll have to take a look at first. And then we can go, depending on the extensive site plans, depending on what it is, it can either come before you or we can take it before the site plan review committee.
Answer your question, Ms. Coulter? Mr. Bush?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess to Mr. Smith, parking. You said you proposed some parking.
Yes.
So there's got to be some kind of calculation for churches, for gathering. So, I want to kind of, as this is a preliminary thing, kind of direct them to, is 40 enough? Have you looked at the calculation yet?
Haven't. The
Okay.
new drawings you have in front of you were given to me today. So
Sure.
We haven't had a chance to do a full extensive.
And I haven't
dive
seen
into
these
it.
plans till tonight.
Correct.
I'm guessing there's something similar to 18 inches, per person, per pew. So however many linear feet of pews divided by 18 is probably the max amount of people they can get. And what's that to the parking calculations?
So
I'd just
just
like to give them some direction so they know
Right.
what to do also.
Just so you're aware, in the ordinance, it requires one space for each 3 seats or 6 feet of pew.
Okay.
Is the ordinance requirement for parking.
So where is the church in relation to this? Is it on a totally separate piece of property? or-
So it's on the far north side of the property. So when you first enter the site, the church is situated at the beginning of the site. And then as you proceed through the site, so that's where it's situated. I think I do have an exact dimension of how far. Yeah, it's about 1,500 feet. Actually, it's about like 1,000 feet from the church itself into the site.
So it might be a nice walk in the summertime, wintertime.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Winter we've been having.
Yeah.
So the question about parking, it seems like you'd want to follow the rule that Mr.
Well, and we'll have to look at if that's for, this is going to be an accessory use, not a primary use. We'll have to take that into consideration because this isn't going to be used to its full extent like the normal church would be every Sunday
Right.
or activities during the week. Another concern is lighting, uplighting for an 80-foot cross that was, especially being close to all the residential. That was something we all discussed. We had a pre-meeting already about this, so that was something we discussed. And then utilities, if there's going to be bathrooms in this, that's something that will need to be taken into consideration. Not that it can't be done, it's just going to be, you're talking 3,000, 2,000 feet back from the road. I mean, that's quite a distance, but not that it can't be done, it's just things to consider. So maybe that doesn't happen right away. However you guys want to do it, that's fine. We're just, things to consider. So I think we've discussed the issues that I've already brought before them as well.
Yeah, I did want to mention, since you said something about like doing it in phases, so our primary goal is to get the cross up first, so we might potentially do the building portion in phases, if it's possible, like to do structurally. So that's one thing that we could explore as well, but yeah, we mainly care about like the cross. Yeah.
So from an approval standpoint, what's the process? Do they come in with, hey, this is what we want to do for phase one, or I'm guessing there likely would be some changes along the way?
Absolutely. So variances first, then if there's phasing, we'll want to see all of the phases Phase 1, absolutely, we'll have to review first after the variance, and then if there's additional phases to be done, depending on the level of change from what was already approved, we approved the site plan as a whole with all of the phases on there, and then if there's no changes, then you can just proceed along. You tell me, hey, Phase 2 is going to start here. If there's no changes, then we can proceed further. But if there's changes, we have to come back and amend the site plan in front of these folks here. So, not a problem. We've done multiple sites with phasing, commercial, industrial. This would be no different in that sort of situation. But if the cross is going up and we're going to be using seating around it, I would want at least the parking lot as it sits today, if not more parking, to be done in the first phase as well.
And also, one more thing, so the elevation that we have on here is actually outdated, so the full height of the cross to the top, including the base, is 60
60 feet.
It's 60 feet total.
If that's the case, then
Yeah.
it won't be a variance required.
Okay, that's great.
9.99.
Whatever it is, as long as it's under 60 feet, that's all that matters.
If it's 60 feet and 5 inches, you guys will go up there and measure it, will you? Just kidding, just kidding.
He might.
Remember that.
5 inches.
So if that's the case, then it'd just be site plan approval like any other process.
Mr. Joyner.
When we were going to discuss this last month, I took some time and went out to the church and the property and walked down. I didn't go into the woods because it was, it needs a lot of
Too
work.
cold.
But it was a very, very quiet, and very serene location. I mean, it's a nice area, and this will make it that much nicer. And I'm sure your congregation will enjoy that. I
you.
enjoyed the few minutes I spent out there. I could hear some ducks. And
Thanks for visiting the site. We appreciate that.
Mr. Johnson?
So so the parking is going to be down at the church, right? So
Correct.
the parked vehicles there.
Correct.
How, I'm thinking, like, in case of emergency,
Right.
I would probably suggest that maybe the main path going back there is capable of
Vehicle.
handling
track-
emergency vehicles, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be something that I would definitely
So, yeah.
consider, because that's a long way to push a
Right.
stretcher or.
Right, right.
And then did you guys have a plan for moving the people? Or is it just going to be foot-based traffic, or?
So we had an idea to propose like golf carts in case like people who are less mobile, they can hop on a golf cart and travel along the site. So that's one idea we had. And yeah, I don't know about like bikes and things like that, but that was mainly,
Yeah, it looks really neat. I like it, yeah.
thank you.
So, Mr. Smith?
I have one other question. The path back to the cross, is that going to be gravel, pavement, stone, mixture of different materials?
Yeah, so we're hoping to do like a brick paved pathway, so that way we can have some donors who would like to inscribe their name and be able to donate to the church, and they can have a brick in the paved pathway. Did you have?
Oh, and I was just gonna say, I know that we talked about that, but it wouldn't be gravel, it would be as smooth of a surface as possible.
Yeah,
And the length of it is also to kind of provide some time to reflect as you're approaching
Yeah.
the cross. So it's supposed to be an experience all the way up, you know what I'm saying?
like a processional type of
Praying and-
pilgrim.
Yeah, but it'll be a smooth surface no matter what is decided in the end.
Perfect. Just make sure it's labeled on the site plans.
Yes, yes.
Ms. Nassar, you had something?
So I just have a question. Is it going to be like an open area where anyone can just go at any time? Or how do you prevent people from just showing up at any time? Is there like a gate, or will it just be?
Yeah, that's a good question, Father. There is a gate. So, yeah, there is a gate at the site, yeah.
Make sure that detail's on the site plan.
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Want to make sure we give them as much feedback as we can.
Absolutely.
That's a good one there.
I know that's very
Isn't
helpful.
on the plans spelled out. It could be a question later on when something's going up from a construction standpoint. Process again would be to.
Sounds like we don't need a variance, but we'll make the determination when the final engineered site plans actually hit my desk, and then we'll go from there. I require the plans to be delivered to me and the application, the fees paid 30 days in advance, and then once that's done, I do a kind of a quick overview to make sure there's nothing that needs to be corrected. And then, once we do that, then I can give you a date at the next available planning commission. We meet the first Thursday of every month, so.
Okay. And like 3 hard copies or?
To start with, 1 hard copy and 1 digital, just to make sure so you don't have to spend $1,000 on.
Yeah.
And then, once we have to submit to these folks, then we'll want hard copies for everybody up here on the dais.
Okay. All right.
Is there any other feedback that you were looking for from us?
Oh, Father, did you have any?
Just one comment, the elevation where we're gonna build the cross, it's
Right.
below the elevation of the road, about like 10 feet. 15,
Yeah.
15 feet.
Yeah, the site grading kind of helps with the overall height, so it won't be like a sore thumb kind of sticking out, but yeah.
Mr. Chair, question.
Mr. Andre?
Thank you. I think it looks great, and I think it's a wonderful vision. It reminds me of Crossing the Woods, Indian River,
Yes.
to some extent. And people intentionally go to Crossing the Woods because it's there and it becomes, so how do you think, even though you said it's probably more parishioner-based, once people know about it, they're going to want to come. So how do I think maybe you think through parking, work with Mr. Smith on the parking, some overflow, consider that, because I tell my mother-in-law about this, she's gonna say, come on, I wanna go see it, and you better have a golf cart ready, right? Because she's got bad knees. So I think it's a good thing, but these are the things you're asking for feedback. Consider that while you look at it as, really a parish-based thing, I think others might be interested and say, I want to see it too. I'd like to experience it as well. And so I highly suggest you continue to work with Mr. Smith on a lot of these little particulars that are very unique to this use. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else? That was great.
Very nice.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for the feedback, and we'll keep in contact with Jeremy and keep it pushing. And yeah, if you guys have any other ideas, feel free to email us. And thank you for working with us on this vision. It's going to be something really exciting for the city of Grand Blanc. So thank you so much, and have a great evening. Thank you.
Yeah, your key is keep communication open with Mr. Smith, and
Yeah. Yep. Once you get get a preliminary set together, you can email me anytime and I can get eyes on it, and if we can pick it apart quickly along the process, so you don't have to do full engineering and then have to change something. So
Right.
just email me anytime as soon as you get something together.
Thank you so much, Jeremy.
problem.
the rest of our meeting is usually quite boring, so feel free.
I think we're going to talk about chickens again. So.
Regardless of listening, I need it right now. We talk about chickens again.
I babysat her children a couple weeks ago. Bye, nice to see you.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you, guys.
Have a nice evening. Thank you.
Be safe out there.
Yeah.
No.
No, literally, I babysat.
Yes, have a great night.
Did you really?
Yes, and I work for her, like for her flower thing. Yes. She's hilarious.
So next item on our agenda is zoning case text amendment.
Oh.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir. So before you, we have the memo for accessory building size to text amendment. If you remember at our last meeting, we discussed this at length. Seeing in the document that Mr. Mott has provided us, there was no changes from the last iteration.
It's a minor change.
A minor change for,
That section 1, 5.21, where we defer the total area of commercial district sizes to meet the building and impervious surface coverage of the applicable district.
so other than that, there was no changes from the last iteration to that. That just clears that up for me and my department for a daily basis when we deal with commercial accessory structures. So that's very well done.
So this was created because there was a number of requests for variance.
There was a specific variance that was done, and instead of having another one come in, we figured we'd get ahead of this one and make some changes, because we do have some larger tracts of land in the township still, and we figured once word got out that the other gentleman was awarded a variance, that we'd probably get more. We don't have any at this time, but it's better to get ahead of it. We know that it's needed, so we figured, why not, let's do it now.
Any comments or questions from planning commission members? All right, we've got to go to the public for any comments, right?
We do need to open the public comment.
Anyone here that would like to speak regarding this text amendment? Doesn't look like it. We will close the public hearing, bring it back up to the planning commission members for action. Or any other discussion? Good, it's a good revision, I think.
Yeah, it gives leeway for not even just large tracts of land, any kind of, over 2 acres. We've got quite a few, a couple hundred, if not almost 1,000 parcels that are just over 2 acres. So, I mean, this affords them some bigger outbuildings that could be required, that they could store things in, so they're not sitting out in their yard.
So this stays at this level, or is this?
This is a recommendation to the township board.
For revision to-
Yes.
So if anyone would like to, oh yeah, I do see that. Make a motion regarding a recommendation to the township board, feel free. If not, it stays here, it dies.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Nassar to send this to the township board, I presume as a recommendation of approval,
Support.
or by Ms. Hugo. Any other discussion? Not, a vote is in order. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes 8-0.
Perfect, thank you.
Let me take it.
Yeah.
Item 7C. Text amendment discussion.
All right, I wanted to bring up kind of this, the zoning use comparisons for outdoor recreation, event assembly spaces, and the like. So we provided that chart for you again. We didn't really build on it from last time. The chart is still the same that we put on your desk last meeting. But as you'll see in this chart, there's really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different colors of potential ways that these kind of uses could be collapsed into their own categories. Right now we have, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Essentially 11 different land uses here. And Well, we've realized there's just a lot going on in the ordinance when it comes to outdoor uses, outdoor recreation, event centers, private assembly out in the outdoor nature. So we're just kind of discussing with you to see if perhaps is this something we want to move into for a larger scale amendment? Do we want to revise these uses to make them a little bit more clear and interpretable? Do you want to add anything, Jeremy?
Yeah, I guess my only thought is that this is another one of those potentially large changes that I don't know if we want to tackle at this level without any further guidance. Something that we are going to be discussing here very shortly is we're coming up on our 5-year master plan mark in November. So we're going to start looking at that again. Now, we did a full overhaul on the last one. Quite a bit of an overhaul, maybe not a full overhaul, but this next master plan is probably not going to be near as significant in change because, as you know, we've been doing text amendments almost every month. So we've hit all the major things that I've tried to accomplish in the master plan, and when I first got here, I was tasked with going through the book and, for lack of a better term, blow it up and see what doesn't work. And we've tackled all those, and you folks and I and Giffords Webster have made those changes as we saw fit. So there's places in the zoning ordinance where I think in the district map, there could be some changes. There could be some consolidating, like we discussed a couple months ago, consolidating some of the low commercial and low residential, combining them. So we have.
But yeah, which they chose to save.
Right, it's to save, so we've already done that. So this could be one of those other ones where we decide, because part of what I was going to bring up in other business was at the board meeting, after the board meeting, Dennis recommended with our new board that has come in and the new board members that are there now, we want to kind of have a couple joint meetings in lieu with the master plan agenda, the township boards, their master plan as well, to make sure that everybody's coinciding and making sure everybody's on the same page. So this could be one of those things that we push off to those meetings, because we'll probably need 2 or 3 meetings. Could be same time, could be before board meetings, could be before planning commission meetings. We can make it part of planning commission meetings. We're still in the early stages of setting those up. I'll try to keep it as same as we can, because I know a lot of you work, so you can't make it before 6 o'clock-ish. So we want to make sure that we at least adhere to that. They may not be Thursdays, but they could be. We might do one on a Tuesday, one on a Thursday. We don't know yet, but we're just giving you a heads up of what's to come, and hoping that the majority of you can make those meetings as well, so that way we can further this master plan down the road.
I think it makes sense to include it as part of the master plan revisions personally, but Mr. Bush, did you have?
Thank you. I just had a question. I'm looking at the recreational uses, and you said there's 11 of them. Excuse me. And I look at community facilities 2, and it says public and quasi-public facilities, gathering spaces include community centers and recreational facilities. And then as I read down, golf course and a country club is the same thing. A park, private or public open space is the same thing. It seems like a lot of these are combined. There's not really 11. They're all saying the same thing.
Yeah, they are all
So
saying.
I can take your 11 down to maybe 8 right off the get-go. And I do agree, maybe this is a broader thing with the master plan, but it seems like a lot of these things could be combined. We have golf courses, country clubs, and par 3 golf courses. What's the difference between a golf course and a par 3 golf course? They're both golf courses. I mean, there's some redundancy here that we can work out.
I think that's why you brought this to us in the first place.
Yes, absolutely. And the other intention of this is we had a applicant that, not a full-blown applicant, but they are looking to do a vineyard with a outdoor space on their property and seeing where they fell in some of these uses. So if we decide even today to push this off to the master plan and with the township board meetings, I'd like to kind of discuss where we think outdoor spaces could be in that, so that way I can provide to them some feedback of, you either need to go for a variance, or you need to just apply and see where it goes for site plan, or what have you. I need to give them an avenue to kind of run down in order to see if they can get what they're trying to accomplish approved. It's the property that has the winery or vineyard on it off Leach and McCandlish. They're proposing to have an outdoor space for weddings and larger events in a residential R2 zoning, I believe it is. There's challenges on that property. I don't know if anybody's ever been back there, or if I looked, even a Google map, you can see a lot of the potential issues that I've already explained to them. Traffic circulation, parking, facilities for bathrooms, and power to get back there. Mainly the traffic circulation and the parking lot for outdoor events of 200 to 300 people is going to be a challenge, in my opinion. I'm not saying that they can't do it. I'm just saying I've seen some hand-drawn sketches, and they haven't provided enough parking, in my opinion, to handle something like that. The other major issue is Leach is not a paved road. It's for lack of a better term, almost a two-track going back to their property. And if there's ever a medical emergency back there, or there's a fire and you need 2 lanes of traffic in or out, I don't know if they have it. So I've got some concerns. They haven't done a full application yet, but we're trying to help them pick a lane in our book, so that way they can make a full submission, so that way we can say yay or nay. So I guess tonight, if we're going to push this consolidation off, I'd ask for everybody's opinion of where they thought it might fall, or with Mr. Amat here, if we kind of give him some thoughts, and we can kind of run through some scenarios, and at least I can give them a semi-direction of where they can apply to.
When I first looked at it, I thought it was, might fit under the private or public recreation club, but that was just my opinion. Mr. Bush, you had something you wanted to say?
Just a thought process and maybe some due diligence for Mr. Smith. There's a lot of vineyards up in Traverse City. They have traffic all the time. People go there. They have parking facilities. They have stores. I'm guessing they have some similar things that this particular use wants. So I'd like to find out, how do they handle it? Where do they classify vineyards? I think it'd be great for Grand Blanc to have a vineyard. I think it would, another destination for people to come here. However, you're right, parking, stores, restroom facilities, the road is a big one. But I'd certainly like to see how, say, Traverse City handles that in their community.
Just a rebuttal to that, I've been to
we all have.
most of them, if not all of them, up there with my wife, and I can tell you, most of them have a primary structure on the property, which this one does not. They have a home. I'm not sure if it's on this property or one of the ones next to it. There is a barn on the property, but there is no primary structure. They're trying to do this all with temporary tents.
Then would we classify that as somebody selling goods out of a stand? Is that what we're saying here?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, where do we think they may fall?
Because don't kid yourself. They're going to sell their wine. They want people to come here to buy their
Well,
wine.
but that's a whole nother, and I've kind of discussed that with them, and that's a commercial enterprise. Now,
Exactly.
Now you've changed
Exactly.
the complete zoning of the property to a commercial business property.
That's exactly what they want.
Well, but they may not get that. If we say you can only have events
Get that
here,
impression, Paul.
Really?
Yeah,
Why
didn't-
would you have a vineyard and not sell anything?
I don't think they have
They sell the grapes.
that volume
Not buying it.
line that's being created.
no, they don't. Honestly, they don't. Maybe, I don't know volume and things like that, but I couldn't imagine. I've been out to the site a couple times, but if that's a condition, that's what we tell them. Okay, if we find you a spot here that you can do your temporary uses, but you can't sell and you can't have a tasting room, at least we've we've drawn a line in the sand.
How can, they're not gonna, if they're not gonna sell wine, why are they gonna have a tasting room?
They don't sell wine now.
I mean, come on, I mean, you're either gonna,
But they don't sell wine.
They don't sell wine now.
They don't.
okay.
They don't sell wine
I
on the
mean, not to be a
property,
broken
how's that?
record, but why does everybody, I've been to the wineries up there too.
Yep.
Why do you go there?
Right. But tasting.
To drink the wine.
That's my point is, there's no tasting room on the property. It's a barn for the
Why you go
tractors. They don't sell on the property now. That, they've already been told that that selling of the wine changes it to a commercial enterprise, and that changes completely everything. So that's my point is, we draw a line in the sand and say, if you want to have X, Y, Z, this is where you can go, but if you go past X, Y, Z, then it's a no-go. So that, I guess that's my thought today is, does anybody think that we can get their temporary use on the site as it's zoned today? That's question number one.
So, Mr. Chairman, do you mind?
Mr. Johnson, yes.
So I guess I'm looking at this, and if you take the winery component out of it, it's no different than somebody trying to just have a wedding on their property, right? To be able to have,
Well,
because there's a bunch of liquor control regulations and things like that, and for doing what they're trying to do.
right, can I give pause for that really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
They're going to sell their land to people, or rent their land to people to have events. If you have one in your backyard, you have an open house, you paid for it to be there. It's a one and done thing, not a every weekend thing.
Gotcha. So, well, so that's the road I'm going down, right? So they're trying to, they want to rent their property to people.
Yep.
No different than if I had, 20 acres and I wanted to put up a tent and rent my property, take the winery right out of it.
Yep.
I'm looking at this and saying, you bring up great points. They don't have the infrastructure to support it. If there's like a mass emergency or something that takes place there, you can't get vehicles in. So that is right away something that has to be addressed. As far as fitting into this chart here, that's the way I would approach this, is to look at it and say, all they're trying to do is rent space on their land. I would take the winery component completely out of it, because when you introduce the winery part of it, there's so much more regulation that is above and beyond what we're trying to do at this board, or at this dais here. So that's kind of the position I'm taking with it. So just to offer where my mindset is.
Ms. Nassar?
What is a private park? Where it says parks, public or private? What is that exactly?
Wouldn't that be like Richfield Park is a private park that has hours that you can only be there at certain times. They allow it to be open for public use, but you can also rent pavilions there. I would consider Bicentennial Park a private park, even though we own it. I mean, it's locked up. It's not open 24/7, 365. And you can rent pavilions and things of that sort. That would be my definition.
Yeah, and I don't think many private land owners, I don't think a lot of them want or have private parks. But I mean, there'd be a park that's
Subdivision.
privately owned. Yeah.
So could it qualify as a private park if people paid to go to the park?
Potentially.
Like a membership?
A one-day membership?
Almost like that was phrased by an attorney or something. It's crazy.
And if it's event-based, you know, like, event
we go that direction-
brings it to a different level.
If we go that direction with a private park, and let's talk about Bicentennial Park, the pavilions have restroom facilities there.
Correct. I don't know if all of them do. I'd have to double check.
So if we're gonna classify it a private park, and we're saying that Bicentennial's a private park, then we can't really require them to have bathrooms. I would think we should have bathrooms there if they're gonna have an assembly area.
I mean,
But if we classify it in that classification, then how can we do that?
I mean, my qualification for bathrooms, I'm not saying they have to have permanent facilities. I'm sure most of us have seen the trailers. They're really nice. They haul them in. set them up. You don't have to have the typical Porta-John plastic things. They've got nicer things now.
They do.
And if we say, yeah, we're going to allow this, but we have conditions, that's an option too. We can say, this is something that doesn't fit in any of these, and say, okay, this is a special land use, this is a PUD, this is a, it doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't fit perfectly in any of these uses. So we're trying to cram it in one, or we need to potentially create a whole new use. I don't think we need to go down that road, but we're just spitballing here today. I'm at a loss. Andy and I have talked about this a few times. I've talked with a few of you about this, in private too. I'm just looking for direction.
Okay. Another question. What is the zoning classification? Remind me of the new wedding venue they want to put at the old Ocker Place on Belsey Road.
R2 with the PUD.
Okay. So it's similar to that.
Except,
Very similar.
well, with one big difference, a primary structure. Indoor facilities, a parking lot, access to the road.
And these people want to bring tents in
Correct.
for the same type of use.
Same use, but at a different level.
Initially, but they,
No.
Go ahead.
No,
didn't they talk about maybe building something later?
the Ocker place?
No,
They did,
These-
they did mention like some kind of barn dominium or something.
it was like.
Yeah, but it was gonna be like a home that and then they would lease out part of it.
No, it was like an all glass place, wasn't it?
You're thinking of the Ocker place.
That was the Ocker.
Right, then they're not doing anything like that.
They're not at this time, no. They're remodeling the mansion. They've got a 110 to 120 seat capacity ballroom that they're making in that mansion. And then they're gonna get that business going, and then eventually, phase 2 or 3, they wanna build that 300 person out, another separate building from the mansion on the same property.
Mr. Chair. Is there any, I think the special land use might be the best way because then there's conditions with it. As a possibility, we could look at it. One of the questions I have is there, I have some reservations. I think the road is my biggest reservation. I gotta be honest with you. I think that, I've been to a venue, just in October, more of a barn dominium type thing, but they parked adjacent to, the road. It was a paved road, and then everybody kind of 45-degreed into it. And so I could see where there could be some leniency when it comes to parking because of it being an event, driven. One of the things I have, though, concern is the temporary nature of a tent, and that turns into a permanent feature. That's my biggest concern. And so is there an ability through ordinance or some kind of permit condition that we have that they have to renew on an annual basis, or we evaluate on an annual basis based on how their operations are going?
The only way in the book that I know that can be done is through a temporary use permit.
Okay.
Special land use stays with the property, PUD stays with the property. That kind of, that, it's, and then if you do a special land use in the actual zoning, you have to have one of these characteristics that we're talking about on this chart has to be in there, and then we can apply the conditions to it. If it doesn't fit where we think it's gonna go, then that's just another.
No, I appreciate you talking it through because I don't even know if it would qualify as a special land use because there's no primary structure.
You might be able to, but
Okay.
couldn't you also, I guess maybe kind of following up on your question, have conditions on the quote-unquote tent structure that it can only be up for X number of days or something?
If we feel it qualifies as a special land use, the conditions that are in the book are the ones that we start with. If you folks feel that there's another condition you want to put on it, within reason, then yes, we can add those conditions to it.
Do you know what the right-of-way width is for that road?
I don't. Because I don't know if it's a
public?
I don't think it's a public road. I think it's private. If I remember right, Leach, when you first come off McCandlish, is public to a certain point, and then at a certain point, it turns into private.
To the old entrance of Genesee Hills.
I think you're right. I think somewhere in there, that's where it changes and that
Yep.
causes another
Makes sense.
potential issue. Not really, because, well, the other thing is that most of your types of businesses like this, our ordinance requires paved parking and paved driveway.
And I think this use does too.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that kills it there.
Well, at least a road, in my opinion, the road would, at a minimum, would have to be, we've allowed for, in industrial, we've allowed for the, I just lost it, the, bit millings. The bit millings, but that's another animal in itself, and that was just for the back storage lots for containers and for,
That wasn't for parking.
wasn't for parking, no, you're right. But I'm just saying I'm trying to help these people out. I'm not trying to poo-poo this idea. I'm running out of ideas on how we get this to a point where we can actually have them with engineered drawings in front of you folks.
Is anyone here familiar with Clark Road in Davisburg? The reason I am is my wife has a couple of horses that she boards down there.
Okay?
So it's, I don't know what that means. This facility, you pay X amount of dollars per month to have your horses there. And they provide certain services and you take care of your horses. But that road it's a dirt road, gravel road, whatever. And I believe it is a county road because they seem to maintain it. But it is so narrow that it's kind of iffy just with two pickup trucks going opposite directions.
Right.
When there's a van of some sort, it's almost like they got to pull off into a driveway.
Right.
I'm wondering how that works. I've been told that road is used as the test when the weather isn't good, as to whether they have school.
Sure. I mean, that's.
You can't get down that
Right.
road.
I mean, you're not gonna have to worry about it, in that scenario. They're not gonna have outdoor weddings in the wintertime. I mean, I've seen weirder things, but I guess the road and the parking are my major sticking points. You wanna have porta-johns out there and those nice fancy trailers, fine, whatever. Not my cup of tea, but if somebody wants to have an outdoor wedding, great, fine, that's not a problem. Power, you could bring, I know there's a subdivision in the city, bring consumers, pay to have consumers drop a line somewhere on there and plug in there, fine, whatever, not a big deal. The road and the parking are my main concern on this issue. There's a tree, there's the barn, if anybody's been back there, you think about a box trailer, just a small box trailer going back there to set up for the tent rental. I mean, trying to wiggle their way through there if other traffic's, coming in and out.
Are you referencing the old barn that was there for the golf course?
There's a barn back there, all the way in the back,
Yeah.
that they use as their equipment for their trailer, or their
Yeah, that's
tractor for
This is the
the,
same barn.
for the vineyard.
It's basically a two-track to get back there.
yes.
It's a golf cart trail.
But that's my point, is, could it be done? They might have to remove some trees. Could it be paved? Sure. Are they gonna wanna pay for that? I doubt it. Are they gonna wanna pay for paving? Can they get that many, let's just say 200 to 300 people. Where are they gonna park 200 to 300 people?
Parking lot.
That's my point. The thing that they had submitted to us before only had 80, maybe 90 parking spaces. Even if you half that at 300, that's 150 people.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Where are you putting an additional?
That's on them.
I know, but that's my point, is if they can meet these conditions, then maybe this is doable. But I think there's a couple major hurdles in their way before we get to that.
But from a parking standpoint, if you're going to a wedding, it's typically not each person driving by themselves.
That's what I'm saying. Take 300 divided by
Yeah.
2,
Half it.
half it, just for simple math.
That is an
100
option.
spots.
That is an option too, if it's a special land use to cap the number of attendees at that location where it's not 300, that it's.
Up to a certain amount.
Who's policing that on the weekends? I know I'm not. Just saying.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah. So I guess have them come and give me engineered plan. I hate for them to spend money on that engineering and just to say, no, could they fit in there? Yes, but they're gonna need, I need them to show us that they can meet these two major issues that I think we all have, the parking and the road, right?
So
It's like it's on them.
Yeah.
That's my point is if they can meet those requirements and they can prove to me, I'll work with them. If they can prove to me that if they say they're gonna have 200 or 300 people, and I use the calculation in the book, if they can prove to me how they're gonna accomplish the road, the width, and the parking lot, and the number of spaces required, are all of you willing to hear them and potentially put them in one of these categories that we already have in front of you?
I mean, I don't think there's a guarantee
No,
of anything.
I'm not guaranteeing
Yes, we will hear
anything, but
them.
I guess my point is, I need them to provide me something concrete, so that way we can do a full, actual review. To say, we want to have X amount of people, have them put it on pen to paper and say, 300 people can go under this tent, and then I say, then you need to have X amount of parking spaces, and that road needs to be paved.
Jeremy, at some point, they can ask for all the advice and all the feedback. They have to propose something.
Yeah.
It's up to them. I feel that the timing, and you and Andy probably work with them, you're probably very diligent in working with them, giving them the information, giving them the guidance. It's hard, I have a hard time even discussing anymore until we see something.
No.
And so it's like,
And they were.
Submit.
They were here, what, 2-3 months ago?
Right.
And they gave us hand-drawn sketches, and it was a good hand-drawn sketch, don't get me wrong.
Get it.
But they were still lacking the parking spaces.
You've given them the criteria in which we're going to be reviewing it by, and you're going to initially be reviewing it by, site plan committee is going to be reviewing it by. There's the information, we'll look forward to seeing a submission in front of us.
So I think what I'm hearing is that most of the people on this board like the idea of having this, but there's
Yeah.
hurdles they've got to get over.
Yeah, there are a lot of
We've
issues.
given them some input on that.
I think to go a little bit further, we just heard a presentation and we have plans. So why don't they give us something like this? That's what we're looking for. And then bring it to us preliminary like they did this evening, and then let's go from there.
I will pass that along, or I will direct them to this meeting once it's up on our YouTube and they can see all of our comments and concerns. I mean, that's the best we can do, right? I mean, that's like Mr. Andre said, we need something concrete in order to make a full-blown review on it, and we just don't have it yet.
The alcohol thing, they're gonna want that.
They may not get it.
Just saying, we gotta keep in mind that they're gonna want that.
Well, but
They're gonna want wine tasting.
Right.
That's what a vineyard does.
It may have to exclude.
But it is. I don't know enough about it to say, to know how much they have. But I know if I was gonna make a vineyard, I'm gonna sell grapes, why have one? I'm gonna sell liquor.
I mean, they've been there for, what, a decade or more now? They don't sell on the site, as far as I know.
Or what, Jeremy?
All right.
Bush is going to get to the bottom of that one.
Road trip.
Anything else on that?
I think Mr. Joyner has something that he'd like to discuss with everybody.
Here it comes.
A short presentation,
Yeah.
Mr. Joyner.
Is this
for each?
part of the text amendment or
No, this is just
No, this is,
other business.
okay, no committee reports?
None.
Take one and pass it down. We've,
Before we get to that, while we're passing things out, Mr. Gellings, we want to have Ms. Hugo speak on our new board member that we just appointed the other night.
We did. We appointed Michelle Ryder. She will be sworn in at the next meeting, 2 weeks from this past Tuesday. We had 10 applicants, interviewed 3, and look forward to working with her.
Very good. What's her background?
She currently works for Dominique Clemens down at the county clerk's office, and she was a campaign manager for James Avery. I didn't memorize the rest of it. She described herself as a political nerd. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Oh, boy. Together?
All right, other business.
All right. What I've done, these are charts that look at the average egg prices from 1980 to 2025. And in the first chart on the top, these are the actual average prices that you would see on the, in the grocery store or wherever these were sold. And you can see how the prices have gone up, what you pay, at the store since 1980. However, when you look at the second chart, and this is adjusted for inflation. So we're looking at, 2025, December 2025, prices, and what they have done is they've adjusted that backwards for inflation. And what you find is that for most of the time, egg prices adjusted for inflation for 2025 stay somewhere within $2 and $3 for most of the time. You notice that, after 2020, we had some huge jumps there. However, right now, or at December 2025, it was $2.71 for a dozen eggs. So, it's just kind of a level set, looking at egg prices and, inflation adjusted, just so you get a sense of where it is in current dollars. All right? And as current as we can get right now through the Bureau of Labor Statistics is December of 2025, which is pretty close. I'm sure they'll have something coming out maybe later this year for starting in 2026. So this kind of gives you an idea of where the egg prices fluctuate at in adjusted for inflation. So it really, we had some big jumps, but now it's coming back down in the $2 to $3 range. Now, when you go to the grocery store, you can get some of the organic eggs and, free-range chickens, and you can spend $8, $10 for a dozen eggs if you want to. But, I think if you go out now and you look at it, you'll see most of the eggs, are probably in the $2 to $3 range. And I think maybe this graph is showing us that we're getting back down to that point where they're within the $2 to $3 range. The third one is just looking at annual change in the actual prices. You can see how they fluctuated up and down over the years. This is just another way of them to showing what's going on. But you can see that it's probably about 30% drop towards the the end of 2025. So it's just, this is a tool for Mr. Smith.
Can we get this for every other grocery item?
You probably can, if you want. I mean, we can look at milk prices.
Those two items to me don't seem to go up that much, so it is, like you said, inflation adjusted. But other things seem to jump quite a bit.
Yeah, steak.
Yeah.
Yeah, chicken, went up real high. Steak is still high right now. But, we've been dealing with this chicken coop thing. And, it's nice to know and get a sense of, are we really spending a lot more money to buy eggs? We have, but, now it's coming back down. maybe this is the next trend where it's stabilized.
Are these the dozen or 18?
Dozen.
209 at Kroger right now.
209?
Yeah. Cage-free, large, white, 209.
209, okay.
Yeah,
Grand Blanc Kroger.
yeah.
I mean, thank you for putting this together, and you know what? I think this is helpful for me. If you backtrack and you look to where those peaks were,
Yeah.
right, just recently, isn't that when we started to get a lot of interest from raising chickens? There it is. Backtracks in, it corresponds, looks good.
Yep.
Tulip bulbs.
What's that?
It's like tulip bulbs.
That was a long time ago.
All right. Any questions? Yeah. All right. I just wanted to put that out there so that we had, another tool.
That was great information.
Absolutely, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Any other business?
The one thing, just reiterating the couple joint meetings that we'll be having in the next couple months. I'll be sending out some dates, so watch your emails for that, just to make sure that we're all, majority, I mean, I don't expect everybody to be there. I know everybody's busy and things like that, but I want at least a quorum from the planning commission there to, 5 of the 9 at both meetings. If you can't make either one, or just let me know. But we need a good showing with the township board to show that we're on the same page and see what we're doing with this new master plan. And, I'll bring the zoning maps in and we'll circle where we think that maybe we need to take a look at it. Maybe it doesn't, I know there's some spots along Dort Highway that have office. Dort Highway is a major thoroughfare. Do we really want office there? Do we want neighborhood commercial? Do we want general commercial? I mean, there's some pockets that need some adjusting. And I've seen that over the last 4 or 5 years, since I've really been deep diving into this. So maybe it doesn't need to be changed immediately. Maybe we just change it on the future land use map. And, getting a better future land use map put together so that way we can see better pockets and where we think they can go, so.
I read something in the local paper. Do we want to discuss that at all regarding moratorium?
Oh, there you
I'd
go.
like to ask that question,
Go ahead.
if I could. Maybe for Mr. Smith or for Ms. Hugo. Been on the planning commission a long time, as certain members here also have been on a long time, too. I heard in the paper, or wherever you heard, that there's a moratorium on data centers for a year in Grand Blanc Township. I guess I'm a little concerned because that starts at this level and then goes to the board level. At least that's my experience that I've been on this planning commission.
Not with moratoriums.
Okay, I'll stop because that's not how it's been in the past.
The last couple moratoriums have started with the board
I
and
think
came.
that they have identified, hey, we need to put a moratorium, and then you guys go ahead and figure out the details.
Exactly. So we had the gas station and now we've got the data center, but the only one that I know that was done previously was the dispensaries. That one was a permanent one.
That was here.
And that was before me.
And so was the gas stations, was here first.
They made the announcement and then had us figure out the details like Mr. Gilling said.
Okay.
Mr. Joyner?
The data centers, that all got started when the state decided to allow no sales tax on anything that was going in to help build that data center. So they were exempt from any state taxes on steel, on wire, on you name it, anything that went to build that.
Yeah.
One of the things about these data centers is they have a 10 to 15 year lifespan. And you also have to take a look at, I don't know if any of you know what Moore's Law is. Moore's Law was, he was an engineer, he owned Intel. And what he said is that the amount of processing power in these chips for computers doubles every 18 months. Now it's kind of, because we're getting smaller and smaller, it's now like 2 years. But 2 years going through to 15, there are so many generations of chips that keep cycling through. And those have to be, incorporated at some point in that life cycle of that data center. And at some point, the data center becomes obsolete. So, you want to think about, I think, what happens when that data center goes obsolete? Who's going to take care of that building?
Right.
Who's going to, it's going to be huge. So I doubt if you're going to find a buyer for it necessarily. Maybe Amazon, but it depends. It depends on the economics. Do we need to structure, some funds that are set aside for its eventual, destruction? There's a lot of things that are underneath these data centers that nobody really realizes. You have cooling issues that you have to deal with, and there's two ways of doing that. You either have some kind of liquid cooling, which goes directly into these transistors. So, they're designing these so that they do that, or you have a lot of air conditioning type of situation. Either way, you don't get both. You either get one or the other. So that has an impact on resources in clear terms of say, water
Energy.
and energy.
Right.
And who's going to pay for the energy to come in? When you have that much energy coming in, consumers will bring it in.
Right.
But who's paying for that?
Right.
That comes back on the consumers.
I think that was part of one of the major issues that the township board wanted us to look at was utilities and, where or if anywhere in the township do we have the resources to put one of these in and I don't want to say drain, but that either drain it or bring, like you said, bring in more consumers, bring in more water and sewer. Where can we afford to do that, or can we afford to do that? That's the $1 million question, right? That's what we're going to be attempting to explore with this year.
Yep.
Mr. Bush?
Just a comment, and I appreciate what you're saying, Mr. Joyner, but doesn't that also work for all businesses? When you say it's going to outuse its life, say in 10, 15 years, and should we somehow put some money aside to wreck the building? Just drive around and look at all the vacant buildings.
Well,
It's retail, but retail's going by the wayside. So what about Walmart? What happens to that building? We didn't put money aside to rip that down.
these data centers are much, much larger.
I
than Walmart.
understand that, but
They're very, very large.
it's still the same thing. You got the same issue with every business.
I would say the life cycle of a Walmart or retail is significantly longer than what you're going to see out of the data centers.
Yeah, the other issue that comes up, my son did an op-ed in the Detroit News a couple of weeks ago on this thing. But large banks, like Deutsche Bank, are now hedging their funds that they're utilizing to build data centers, because they are starting to see that there's maybe going to be a downturn at some point for these data centers. Again, it's because you're dealing with technology that's doubling every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get past that third or fourth generation, all of your stuff in there is now becoming obsolete.
Mm-hmm.
It just ramps up the speed at which the whole thing becomes obsolete.
So we've got time. This is a year process. We're working with Andy and Jill Giffels to see what we can come up with and get some language put together, some research to see what they've seen in other municipalities, what they're doing, what their rules are. We have little to none at this point, so that's why we're imploring the research. So
Has the township attorney rendered any opinion on this?
Not that I'm aware of. I know he was involved in writing the moratorium, but I don't know if he's done any research himself.
Do we have any parcels in the township that would even accommodate something like that?
Tech Village.
Yeah. Yeah, and that just blows that whole concept.
Well, and that's part of it is the amount of resources that would drain from that area. Tech Village would just be a data center.
A park.
Huh?
TVP, right?
Any of it, it just, that area just doesn't support, it doesn't have the grid that it would need for this data center. Not that it can't be brought in, and consumers, when we were looking at Plastic Omnium coming in Enterprise Park, it's not that it can't be done quickly, but it can be done to a certain point. But Plastic Omnium is not a data center, or vice versa. So needs, wants, that's all part of what we're looking
Have
at.
they talked about a data center there? Has there been talk?
I can't confirm or deny that.
So yes, there's been talk about a data center there. So my question goes back to all the work Grand Lake Township's worked on Tech Village. We have plans in place. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing Grand Lake Township can do. We just spend our money for nothing. Because they want to put a data center there.
If you look in the uses for Tech Village, a data center is a permitted use.
But there's a lot of uses in that Tech Village plans. There's a road that goes through it, there's residential, there's everything.
Sure.
Now, you're saying if that goes there, that's the only thing.
That's it.
So that blows our plans. How do we control the plans that we came up with for our community to make our community beautiful? To make it
Moratorium.
We have a
desirable?
moratorium for a year to explore it, to
Okay,
change the
and
ordinance,
If they have,
potentially.
if they have a data center online right now, it's gonna make money, and they've got a year to wait. So it doesn't matter what we do, because they're still gonna build it.
Mr. Bush, I can tell you, I do not have any plans sitting on my desk at this time.
I'm sure you don't. But if there's plans in somebody's head, a one-year moratorium, they'll wait a year, because it's nothing but a cash cow.
But in a year, we might,
Our opportunity to come up with
You know, a way to
ordinance revision.
make it less evasive, yeah, sure.
Anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Motion to adjourn.
Adjourned by
Support.
Johnson, support by Ms. Hugo at 8:19 PM. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 We are adjourned. Thank you.